Hello, my friends. My name is Ryan Freeman. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my life. Today, I would like to talk about Jordan Peterson. He is a very controversial former clinical psychologist, now a public intellectual who has written several books and goes on lecture tours across the world. There are many people on the left, predominantly, who really dislike him, and there are a lot of people primarily on the right and perhaps in the middle that love Jordan Peterson. Now, I am someone who has benefited greatly from his work. I have bought many books from his recommendation and think very highly of him. He's a very intelligent guy, and I admire him in many ways. But there are a few areas where I sort of disagree with him. And so I wanted to talk about those in particular. The first is the logos, which is traditionally thought of as our divine faculty of bringing order to chaos, our ability to reason, a very masculine trait. Jordan Peterson sort of typifies the logos. He talks about it a lot. This old concept of bringing order to chaos through speech, through action, through your life. One of his very famous books, 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. He's a proponent of bringing more and more order to you and the people around you, and he talks a lot about this concept of the logos. I think the logos is great. I also really value it. I guess my area of disagreement with him is he doesn't talk a lot about the counterpart to the logos, at least under Jungian theory, which is Eros, which is the more feminine trait. Eros is the life instinct. Eros is sensuality. Eros is the sexual drive. He doesn't really, I have never heard him actually talk about Eros. So if you have a video of him talking about Eros, put a link down below. I would love to watch it. He talks on and on and on about the logos, but never about Eros. He loves the masculine, our masculine divine faculty, for lack of a better word. But what about Eros, that feminine, that erotic, that nature? And I think, in my opinion, it's because he doesn't value it, right? I mean, you talk about the things that you value. He loves that masculine principle. And I will back that up by saying he has never greatly praised sex. He has never said, sex is one of the best things, guys. You should go out and make love to beautiful women because this is what we're here on the planet for. He never talks about that, right? He says, we need to enforce monogamy. I know that's a mischaracterization of his main line, but come on. He's really not a proponent of great lovemaking. If you can find a video of him talking about the virtues of having great sex, please tell me. Or food, right? I mean, he puts himself on extraordinarily strict diets and avoids the foods that he loves and just says, c'est la vie, because that's not useful to his ordered life. I think everyone should be allowed to live however they want, so I don't really care about his personal life. I'm only talking about this because he's so provocative, and I watch him, and I just want an ability to sort of express my thoughts, which is something that he has recommended in many of his videos. So, yeah, Jordan Peterson, what about Eros? What about the lust for life? What about ecstatic states? I know he does talk about psychedelics, but what about our irrational side? Not only our rational side. It's very nice to be ordered, but chaos, in the words of Terence McKenna, is order. Chaos is order. Perhaps not exactly, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that Jordan Peterson is a brilliant guy, but I find that he is such an exemplar of order and logos that he sometimes doesn't give tribute to its counterpart, the feminine. Eros, sensuality, sex, food. I mean, he treats food as just a way to keep his mind ordered. by going on very strict diets, by avoiding the foods he likes. I don't think this is a role model. I think we enjoyment of our body and of our senses is very important. Read Oscar Wilde. He's an expert of putting you in touches with your senses. One of my favorite philosophers, Alan Watts, has said that the best, in his view, mode of living out as a human is not so far over to our rational side and not so far over to our irrational side, but somewhere in the middle. And that oftentimes philosophers fall either far on the spiritual side, or some people fall far on the sensuality side, sort of that dualism between spiritualism and sensualism, spiritualists really sort of avoiding the pleasures of the flesh, sort of an old ascetic ideal, avoiding the pleasures of the flesh to have higher spiritual consciousness, whereas others have been described as beasts of sensuality with no spiritual inklings. And Alan Watts said, what happens when you become very spiritual is you become very serious, and a person who's too far over to that side needs a beer and a burp, and a person who's too far over to the sensual side and they have no mystical moments in their life, perhaps they need a cold night out with the stars. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I like Jordan Peterson a lot, but my biggest area of disagreement with him is that he's exemplifying, or he's promoting the logos. He's promoting our masculine side so much, right? Like capitalism, harnessing more wealth from the earth. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing in and of itself, but without its counterbalance, the feminine side, which is this love for this planet, this love for this body, sensuality, enjoyment. I guess that's one thing that I would like to talk to him about. Okay, that's it for this video. You can tell me your thoughts down in the comments if you would like. Thank you for watching my video. My name's Ryan. Bye.